Let's do our top finals moments.
Let's do it.
So I don't know how this process was for you. Here's how it was for me. I said, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write the things that come into my head. And then I'll go and I'll do my research to make sure I'm not forgetting anything, and I'll fill in the blanks. And there were 4 things that immediately came into my head, and I wrote them down. And then I went, and then there were a couple of things that came into my head too, which I was like, nah, that's lower down the list. That's lower down the list. That's lower down the list. And then I went to fill in the blanks, and there was nothing that I saw that even came remotely close to the initial 4 that I wrote down.
We both had a 4. I will say that. For me, It's a 1, then it's a 2, 3, 4, and then there's a bunch of contenders for 5.
So that's really interesting.
The 1 for me is unassailable.
What? Here Comes Willis?
No.
Oh, okay. So then let's do this. So you want to just say your 4, or how should we do this?
We should start at the top. What do you think is the greatest or most iconic finals moment?
Why don't you go first? Because you say you have an unassailable one.
I think MJ in Utah, that last shot, that full 3 possession stretch of the 2 to cut it to 1, the steal of Carmelo, the shot that, for my money, was the last shot he ever took in his career. Apologies to Washington Wizards fans listening to this, but that to me is the most. It's the only greatest player in NBA history. The shot has been immortalized, and the poster of it is it. When you think of the NBA, for a lot of people, especially for me, their inception into becoming a fan was that shot. You know, that poster. We all know what it looks like. I have it in a storage closet, but had it displayed in my old bedroom in my parents' place. You know. My childhood room growing up, I should say. But the point is, that shot is iconic. And it's solidified, like in a back and forth game, it was solidified the 6th championship for the greatest player of all time. Which one are you battling with? Willis?
So to me, the top 4 are on very even footing.
Okay.
And it's funny because I'm not even sure we have the same top 4.
Okay. This should be fun. I think Willis is in my 2, 3, 4.
As he is mine. Okay. I think you make a good argument for why the Jordan shot is the greatest finals moment of all time. I know where I can visualize, kind of in a fuzzy visualization, the other moments, the other 2 on-court moments. And then as far as the off-court moment, Here Comes Willis, obviously we could hear it and we could see him coming out of the tunnel and the whole thing. We've all seen that footage many times. The thing where I think the Jordan shot has to be ahead of Willis, I mean, it might sound trite, but it was on the court. You know, it was on the court, and like you say, that's the weird part, right? Is like Jordan's narrative was already secure. So like if he misses that shot, he's still the greatest. He probably still is the greatest player of all time, but like he didn't miss a shot, you know? And they were down too. That's the other thing. With
what happened with Scottie Pippen that game and the migraines, or no, his back issues. That was the back issue game.
Back, yeah.
With what happened with Dennis Rodman, that series, with how close that Chicago Bulls team was to because he misses that shot. Utah wins game 6. They've got game 7 in their building. Yes, I'm not betting against Michael Jordan. So that's
the only argument for why that is what you just said. Game 7 in their building.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's still game 7 against Michael Jordan. So that, for me, is the argument why the 2 other on-court moments that I have at least have an argument to go ahead of the Jordan shot. And because there was a tomorrow.
I think the reason why this solidified him is Michael never played a game 7 in the finals.
He played when they're in the finals. He played a game.
He played 2 game 7s his whole life. Like,
what was the other one?
Well, okay, 3 game 7s. One against the Knicks, one against the Pistons, and one against the Pacers. You know, like as a result, once he started winning championships, this solidified. Like, even if you have home court, it's not going to matter. He literally stole game 6 and won his 6th title. And for my money, rode off into the sunset and never played a basketball game again.
So
we have the Willis shot. I'm now very curious if we have the other 2 on court moments are the same.
Should we just say what they are?
Yeah.
I went Ray Allen shot.
That's one.
And the Kyrie shot.
I have a different moment from the Cavs game.
You have the LeBron block.
I've blocked by James.
Okay. I have that as a contender for number 5 for me.
Okay.
That block was with how much time remaining in the game?
Under a minute. If not under a minute, it was like 2 minutes left. But the point being is that it was the reason why these 3 are all in the same stretch is they helped, and at that moment, an underdog now flipped the momentum to them having a chance to win a title. When LeBron blocked Iguodala, that was when I was like, oh, the Cavs are winning this game. And then the rest of the game played out.
So that was with under 2 minutes, and it ensured that the game would remain tied. That's the key. It ensured that the game would remain tied. The Kyrie shot happened after the LeBron block, and it broke the tie in the game and was the eventual, for all intents and purposes, like deciding points. One was a block, one was a defensive play, which was a spectacular looking defensive play and something that made everybody in the arena gasp. The Kyrie shot, man, that was a shot that won the championship in game with a minute and a half left in game 7.
But to your point, a minute and a half left. There was also a stop that needed to happen where the Warriors had the ball and Kevin Love.
So then should Kevin Love stop on Steph Curry on the next possession being in contention for this? But
that's why I'm going to the LeBron block, because the Warriors didn't score a point the final 6 minutes of that game. And their best chance was a breakaway where LeBron, that's his iconic career moment.
I understand.
So as a result, which I also think is why it's my number 2, is like you have LeBron and Michael.
That's your number 2?
I would have that as my top. Those as my top 2.
You would have the LeBron block as the second greatest moment in finals history.
And listen, Cleveland won a title. It was the 73-win Warriors got upset. That's the theme of the last 2. The Ray Allen shot, I think, is more and more I think about it, a clear number 4. But again, it reversed an overwhelming favorite in that moment to then now have a chance to lose the title. And plus there was a game 7.
I got to tell you, man, we're not in agreement here. I think the Ray Allen shot is a bigger contender for 2 than 4.
There was a whole game 7 and an overtime after that.
Yes, but there would not have been a game 7 or an overtime if Ray Allen didn't hit that shot.